What if I told you one of the most powerful leaders in the world today once lived in poverty in a broken city with nothing but ambition and discipline? Vladimir Putin, a name that has shaped global politics for decades. For more than 25 years, he has remained at the center of power in Russia, leading a country with one of the largest nuclear arsenals on Earth. Even under constant international pressure, Russia continues to stand as a major force on the global stage. But here's the real question. How does someone go from an unknown intelligence agent to one of the most powerful leaders in modern history? To understand that, we need to go back to 1952 in what was then called Leningrad, now St. Petersburg. This was not a normal city. It was a city still haunted by war. World War II had left deep scars. Buildings destroyed, families broken, and hunger everywhere. Hundreds of thousands had died. Survival itself was a daily struggle. Putin was born into this reality. His father, a soldier, had been severely wounded in the war and nearly lost his life. His family lived in a small, crowded apartment, sharing space with others. There was no comfort, no luxury, only hardship. And it was here, in this environment, that his personality was forged. From a young age, Putin learned how to endure. He became disciplined, observant, and mentally tough. He understood early that if he wanted to rise, he would have to rely on himself. At just 17 years old, he made a bold decision. He applied to join the Soviet intelligence service. But he was rejected. Too young, not ready. For many people, that would have been the end. But for him, it was just the beginning. Instead of giving up, he changed strategy. He focused on education. In 1975, he graduated from Leningrad State University with a degree in law. This wasn't just a degree, it was his entry ticket into a much larger system. Soon after, he was accepted into the intelligence service. This was where everything started to change. During his training and early career, Putin developed a set of skills that would define him for life: patience, control, and the ability to read people. People who worked with him often said one thing: he could understand you almost instantly. Your intentions, your weaknesses, your hidden motives, he could sense them within minutes. This wasn't luck. This was years of training. In the mid-1980s, he was sent to East Germany, one of the most sensitive locations during the Cold War. From 1985 to 1990, he operated in a world of secrecy, tension, and intelligence warfare, and then everything changed. In 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed. For many, it was chaos. For Putin, it was a turning point. He returned to Leningrad and stepped into a completely different world: politics here. He reconnected with Anatoly Sobchak, a key political figure. When Sobchak became mayor, Putin was appointed as his deputy. This marked his official entry into the political system. But the 1990s in Russia were unstable. Corruption, crime, and economic crisis were everywhere. Power was fragile. Trust was rare. When Sobchak lost his position and faced serious investigation, most people stepped away. Putin did the opposite. He stayed loyal. Using his connections, he helped Sobchak leave the country safely. This act of loyalty became one of the most important moments in his career because someone was watching. That someone was Boris Yeltsin, the president of Russia. Yeltsin was looking for people he could trust, people who were not only capable, but loyal under pressure. Putin fit that role perfectly. In 1997, he was called to Moscow. Just 2 years later, he became prime minister. At that moment, he was still unknown to most of the public. And then, crisis struck. In 1999, a series of deadly attacks shook Russia. Fear spread across the country. People didn't know where the next attack would happen. Russia needed a strong response, and Putin stepped forward. He addressed the nation with confidence and determination, promising to restore order and protect the people. His words were simple, but powerful, and people believed him. His approval ratings skyrocketed from almost nothing to nearly half the country supporting him. 1 year later, in 2000, he became president of Russia. Once in power, Putin focused on stability. The economy began to recover. Energy exports increased. Living standards improved. Russia slowly but steadily regained strength. But more importantly, he established control. In 2004, he was re-elected with strong support. In 2008, due to constitutional limits, he stepped down but remained in power as prime minister. Then in 2012, he returned as president, and he hasn't left since. Over the years, his leadership has shaped not only Russia, but the entire global landscape. From international conflicts to energy markets, from diplomacy to military strategy, his decisions carry weight far beyond his country. In 2021, legal changes opened the door for him to remain in power for even longer. And in 2022, a major military conflict brought global attention back to Russia, triggering economic shifts, political reactions, and changes across the world. Asterisk, but here's something many people don't fully realize. Power at that level is not just about decisions you see on the surface. It's about constant pressure, constant calculation, and constant risk. Every move a leader makes can affect millions of lives. Every decision can shift the balance between nations, and for someone like Putin, the challenge is even greater. He is not only managing internal stability, but also navigating a complex global system filled with competing interests, alliances, and conflicts. In such an environment, hesitation can be dangerous. Weakness can be exploited. That is why his leadership style has always been described as calculated, controlled, and highly strategic. He rarely reacts emotionally in public. Instead, he observes, waits, and chooses his timing carefully. This approach, shaped by years in intelligence, has allowed him to remain in power longer than most modern leaders. But it also comes with a cost, because the higher you rise, the more isolated you become. Trust becomes limited. Pressure becomes constant, and every decision carries consequences that the world will remember. Today, Vladimir Putin is one of the most influential and controversial leaders of our time. Some see him as a symbol of strength and stability. Others see him differently. But no one can deny this, his journey. From a poor boy in a war-torn city to the center of global power is one of the most remarkable transformations in modern history. So now let me ask you, is power something you were born into, or something you build over time? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story.